Hi everyone, Al the Psych here. I have a video for you today on the Y word and just my thoughts on it. And again, this is for informational purposes only. So, when I was in school, I remember at least one of my instructors saying that as therapists, we should try to avoid the Y word, or at least be careful when using it. So why is that? Okay. Well, I noticed that I kind of did my own little mini observation. And I noticed that when I used the Y word, when I used Y, it could easily be misconstrued as being accusatory or blaming, as if I were pointing a finger at a person I was talking to. And I noticed this in, everyday interactions, not necessarily, just in therapy. So I also noticed that if the Y word was directed toward me, I often felt like that person was pointing a finger at me. So in my personal observations, I came to see that what my professor was talking about, the Y word often seems to have an accusatory tone or feel to it. Okay. Now I've worked with plenty of teachers, and often uh, just presenting information to students in the right way pays dividends. And I noticed that with some of the teachers, how they presented information to kids or how they asked them questions. So, maybe using the word what instead of why can open up a dialogue and not put the student on the defensive. It's amazing what you might see in terms of different responses depending on how you phrase the question and what word you use. Now, I know when I was working in the school district I was at as a school psychologist, sometimes situations with advocates could become adversarial. And so sometimes my supervisor would get involved. And I always found it so much more easy to work with supervisors that didn't start off the interaction with me with a statement starting with the word why. For example, why did you come to this conclusion regarding your assessment? Okay. Um, and if my supervisor had a suggestion for me, um, I was much more open to it if he or she had started off the interaction without using the Y word. So, if my supervisor said, well, tell me, what's going on, as, what did you do here, as opposed to why did you do this, it just kind of sets a different tone. And I noticed that I would be much more receptive to listening to recommendations from my supervisor. So, if you're a parent, teacher, therapist, business person in a relationship, etc., um, you can see how the Y word may impact your interactions. And it might be fun for you to actually just do some little informal observations if to see if you're using the Y word or if other people are using the Y word towards you, and if so, how it makes you feel. Now, one more thing, you may want to check and see if you use the Y word with yourself. So, for example, why did I do that? Okay, so maybe it's time to be a little more careful in terms of using the Y word with yourself. But again, go ahead and do your own, personal observations and see how it turns out. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks.